take a moment now to center an affirmative prayer. So turning within, we take a moment of gratitude that we are here together in our community of joy, to sing together, to laugh together, to be inspired by ideas for wholehearted living, and to connect and love one another. Many names and paths lead to the one power and presence that many call God. That power is the creating, attracting, and unifying energy of love, which surrounds us, lies within us, which expresses as us and through us, in which we live and move and have our being. In this energy, and as this energy, we are all one. And from this oneness, we send a blessing of unconditional love, peace, and abundant joy to all beings everywhere. We are so grateful, and so it is. Amen. And now Maxine is going to share the daily word with us.
Is the microphone up here? Oh, of course, anything's right in front of our eyes we don't see, right? So here we go. Hello, I'm Maxine, and today's daily word theme is gratitude. Gratitude is my heart's song. Gratitude is my heart's natural response when I think of the best life has to offer. But sometimes when I compare my circumstances with someone else's, or when I am distracted by negative thoughts or challenging situations, my closed heart may feel resentment rather than gratitude. I let the first twinge of resentment remind me to return to gratitude. I pause, breathe, and remember the truth of my being. Knowing I am a unique expression of life, I open my heart and realize again the divine presence that is always with me. I mindfully reconnect with the indwelling life, love, wisdom, understanding, and strength that have helped me grow through even the most challenging experiences of my life. My head and heart sing with gratitude. This reading was inspired by Psalm 86, verse 12. I give thanks to you, O Lord my God, with my whole heart. And now let's enjoy the song, If It's to Be.
take a moment for meditation. So I'm going to invite you to get comfortable in whatever way that's right for you, wherever you may be. And if you have anything in your hands, just maybe lay them aside, letting your hands rest comfortably. Feel the support of your seat, reminding you that you are always supported. If you haven't already done so, I invite you to gently close your eyes or rest your gaze gently downward. This is a safe and sacred space. Let's take a moment to focus on the breath, breathing in and out in a pattern that's comfortable for you. With every breath in and out, we allow our bodies to feel a deeper state of relaxation. Taking a moment now to notice if there is any area of tension, we send a loving message. Just relax. Let go. If there's any area of the body that's demanding attention, see it surrounded in a radiant, healing light, claiming divine life and perfect divine order, addressing any concern. Now notice if there are any thoughts demanding your attention. Just let them float away, knowing that anything important will be available to be dealt with at the right and perfect time. Let's take a moment now to reflect upon the words that we just heard in our meditation song. As I share them, I invite you to let my words be your words. If it's to be, it's up to me. I have the ability to choose whatever path I take in life. By my choices, I create the experiences of my life. If I seek the truth, let me speak the truth. If I'm lost in doubt, I look within. I rest in knowing and believe. I know I can be the change I want to see and experience. If I'm choosing stress, let me stop and rest. If I'm feeling hurt, let me forgive. I know I can be the change I want to see and experience in and as my life. If I dream of peace, let me live in peace. When I start from love, I am love. Although I have no control over outside forces, I have choice over my inner state and my actions. I invite you now to take a moment in the silence, affirming, I am willing to choose peace, to choose forgiveness, to choose love, to choose truth. I let go of any resistance. I am willing. Once more, become aware of your breath, breathing in and out. And in this moment, we take a pause to experience gratitude. Gratitude for all the good that is, all the good that has resulted from the wise choices we have made, and we choose to focus on that. We take a moment to experience gratitude for peace and love that exists within and as each of us. And so it is. Amen. And whenever you're ready, if you haven't already done so, I invite you to return your attention to this time and space, opening your eyes and taking a moment to appreciate this wonderful, sacred gathering today. And now we'll hear again from Sue Riley, Glenn Rothel, and somebody you might have heard of before, Nathan Aswell, who contributed to this song. Be talking about today. A little willingness goes a long way. And helps if I turn on my little clicker. Love my little clicker here. A little willingness goes a long way. You probably heard this saying before, and it can, be substituting a little something goes a long way. When I was little, my brother and I, we would get a little bit rambunctious sometimes, as children do. And my dad would say, a little of that nonsense will go a long way. And we knew that that was our message to, start behaving in a way. And most of the time it worked. We knew what my dad meant. So today I'm going to be sharing about some ideas regarding willingness and how just by taking that first little step, saying, I am willing, that it can set us on a whole new path. Now, you may know already about the power of will, which is one of our 12 spiritual faculties, abilities, powers. And if you've been around Unity for a while, this isn't new. Some of you, it might be, information that you haven't really heard. So I'm going to share a little bit as a recap of what the power of will is. Notice it's the power of will, not willpower. Willpower, human. I shall conquer this. The power of will, I choose. And we're going to talk about how we can choose. So we have 12 powers. Thanks to Ronnie. Shout out always. There's 12 of them listed here, and Ronnie created an acronym using the first letter of these to remember what they are, and he calls it the upswell of whiz. And I always say whiz, like when you're a whiz at something, and using your 12 powers to the fullness that they have to offer within you as a spiritual being. And for will, which is our power today, we have color that's associated with it. We have a disciple, and we have a corresponding area of the body, and also a month. And August is the month for will. It's silver for the color. The part of our body is actually just behind our forehead at the front of our brain, and the disciple is Matthew. So we are going to be focusing on the power of will today. And Charles Fillmore, in his book, The Revealing Word, tells us that, and some of you will have heard me talk about this before, that the will is the executive power of the mind. And I think, if you are having a corporation and there's an executive, usually they're the one at the top, they're the one making the decisions, calling the shots, directing things. And that's really the functioning of our power of will within us. Now, I've got a video here, another video, that is from Unity Worldwide, telling us about will. And that's a little bit from Unity about the power of will. Now, we're going to see another video. And I have to apologize right now because I've discovered that the sound quality didn't come through. And I think it was on my end because of the way I recorded it. I'm pretty sure that some of you will have seen this before. And I know Reverend Rona shared with me that she showed it here at some time in the past. So I'm going to just invite you to do your best to listen and to hopefully enjoy the video to the best of our ability given the technological challenges today. Yeah, apologies for the volume. Well, I'm glad we got the volume up a little bit there toward the end. Oh my gosh. So, uh, has anybody seen that video before? Yeah. Oh, it's on YouTube. So if you really want to hear it to get the full impact, there's many copies. I think what happened is I recorded it at a lower volume on my computer. And thank you to finding a way to turn it up. That was great, even in the midst of that. Thank you. So we're going to talk a little bit about that video. And I noticed that a few of us that could hear it were laughing at some of the things that went on, especially when he kept telling her to stop it. Yeah. So I'm wondering, why is it that we laugh at that? Maybe we think, yeah, right, if it was only that easy to get over life challenges. Or maybe we could see ourselves in that person, and it kind of made us go like, tee-hee, oh yes, there I am, and that's all I got to do is stop it. So how does that fit in with this talk about will and willpower? Not willpower, willingness today. So we're going to go through, and hopefully this will explain some of the things if you couldn't hear it. In the video, the client has a fear of being buried alive. Not just being buried alive, in a box, and it's impacting her life. She's got this fear. And she finally decided, acting on her power of will, she's going to do something about it. However, when she gets the advice about how to change it, she doesn't want to accept the advice. She wasn't willing. And she had lots of reasons. She had excuses why. She was blaming. Her mother called her fatty. That's why she had bulimia, which is like a serious, illness. And we don't want to make fun of anybody's challenges, claustrophobia or something like that. Destructive relationships with men. Fear of driving. I mean, these things impact real people. However, she wasn't at that point in her life where she could say, oh, yeah, I'm ready and willing to stop. And, she got a little upset with him. It's like, why are you telling me to stop it? It's just not that easy. And, of course, for him, it was stop it. So we come to a point in our lives, I think, a lot of us who show up at Unity, thinking that full and abundant life that gets mentioned in our opening prayer, like we know it's there for us, waiting. And we now want to take action to make it manifest in our lives so that we can experience that. However, our human mind brings up things that are unlike that full and abundant thinking. Even if we're positive thinkers, and maybe I'm talking about me here, who practice unity principles, there may be times when our ego, whose purpose it is to make sure we're safe and taken care of and doing the right thing according to it, whatever it determines is the best, that our ego takes over. And maybe we've had our own internal dialogue about why things need to change and what to do about it. Maybe we just haven't acted on it yet. So in this video, the client has all the things that are wrong with her, things that I just mentioned. And she recognizes that there are some things that she'd like to change. So I'm going to invite you to consider that the voice of the client is like the voice of our ego, telling us all the things that's wrong with us and why we'll never be able to do what it is. It can't be as easy as stop it. So if that was the voice of the ego talking, and then we're going to let Bob Newhart, by the way, in case you didn't know, that was Bob Newhart, the actor. God bless him, made his transition last year. And amazing comedian. And let's let his voice be the voice of the Christ, that divine within each of us, that higher self, the divine mind. And I realize that probably Bob Newhart, wherever his soul may be, if he heard me saying, oh yeah, you're going to be like the Christ in this example, he might, think it was amusing. And I'm going to also say something is, just so you know, I don't think our divine self, the Christ within, is going to call us a nut. It's not going to call us a big baby, and it's not going to call us a kook. So we'll just put that in perspective about the things that every time she said she had a problem, he came up with, like, don't do that. That's, and he called her names. So we'll say no. However, the Christ within, our divine self, that higher self, it will sometimes say, you're really not being rational about this. There is a solution. There is a way. And it won't call us names. It'll give us that little nudge about maybe there's something you can do about it. So whatever challenge exists in our outer life, there is within us this power to deal with the challenges and to achieve a solution for the highest and best, if we're willing. And we get to use this power of will to decide which voice we're going to listen to. The ego voice, with all those negative messages, the human thoughts, all those limitations that we may have accepted. Or we can also say there is another voice, the voice of truth, the voice of the divine self saying, you have the power. You have the power to change. If it's to be, it's up to me, and you can do it. So when we're willing, we get to make a choice to open to our inner guidance, to choose from our higher self, spirit-led, and we find new ideas start coming to us, and we get new ways to deal with whatever's going on in our life. We see there's another way, and we can choose that new way. And here's something else I've shared with you before, and you may or may not remember it or have heard it. Once there was a hiker who was out walking, and he walked too close to the edge of a deep ravine, and he fell off the edge. And as he's plummeting down hundreds of meters, there's a root sticking out of the side of the cliff. And he grabs on, and it stops him from finishing the descent. And in that moment, he had that moment of gratitude, like, okay, I can hang on here. And he says, there might be somebody up there. I can shout. They'll hear me. Help! Help! Is anybody up there? Help! No answer. Shouts again. Help! And he hears a voice from above. And the voice says, just let go. And the hiker looks down, hanging for dear life, at the bottom of the ravine, hundreds of meters below. And he says, is anybody else up there? So in the moment of choice, ego-based thinking, if I let go, I'm going to fall and die. Or the higher self saying, just let go. It'll be all right. I gotcha. All will be well. And that's our moment of choice. When we invest time in prayer and meditation and in the silence, we develop our capacity to live more fully and listen to that voice of the Christ within. And our higher self, I'm using these names, you can use whatever names work for you, God, Spirit, higher self. It knows the possibility to overcome no matter what the challenge is in our life. And as we start listening more, we find that it strengthens our willingness and we have greater faith. We trust and we listen and then we act from that inner guidance. So the question is it as easy as Bob Newhart says, just stop it? And maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe we need to be willing to get help on releasing whatever the outer condition may be. The client here did that. She went to see a therapist. So sometimes it may be a therapist, sometimes attending a group, sharing common issues. Maybe it's taking a medicine for a physical condition. Sometimes there can be a willingness to reflect upon what we're experiencing in our lives that no longer serves our highest and best. Sometimes it can be a willingness to change what Charles Fillmore calls our erroneous, self-defeating thoughts, beliefs, feelings about some issue in our lives. Now, a few of you will remember a lady named Jackie Woodside who came and did a talk. She did a weekend workshop here a number of years ago. She has a book called Money Vibe, and she's become a friend of mine over the years. And she has this method she shares in the Money Vibe book. When you come across those erroneous, self-defeating thoughts and beliefs and feelings, things that are coming up that are not for our highest and best. And she has what she calls the 3C method to deal with them. She said, first, you catch the thought if it's not for our highest and best. You catch it, go, oh, let me think about this one. And then her next step, the next C, challenge it. And she says, ask, is it true? Does this always have to be the way I think it is? And a really important question, do I want it to be this way? So we challenge whatever that thought is. And finally, she said the last C, we change it. And we substitute, get rid of the old erroneous pattern of thought, and we substitute a new way of thinking about whatever the issue may be. And the key here is we have to be willing to change. Some of you know the author Brené Brown. Reverend Rona did a book study a number of years ago with one of Brené Brown's books. And something that stuck with me out of the whole book, it said, the 20 minutes you walk is better than the hour you don't walk. And yeah, and I thought, oh, because it's all or nothing. If I don't go out, I haven't done what I need to do to take care of my body, and I, keep up with my exercise routine, whatever it may be. And it's that little willingness to do something, even if it doesn't seem to be the big thing. And what she says here is the willingness to show up changes us. It makes us a little braver each time. And so I'm going to invite you to consider that our willingness to show up as our higher self changes us. And we begin to live from a higher state of consciousness, and it makes our human self a little braver when we have to deal with the challenges of life. And also here on this slide, Albert Einstein said, with each choice you make, you create your life. Everybody breathe. With each choice you make, you create your life. What kind of life do you want to create? A little willingness goes a long way. And I'm going to wrap things up with scripture that I think sums this up pretty well. Short, sweet, simple. From Job 22, and you know about Job, eh? Oh, Job, he got into that like, well, everything's going wrong and God doesn't love me anymore. And he finally came around to kind of go, oh yes, as I understand, yes, that this is just passing. This too shall pass. And he started turning his life around so that the good came back to his life because he believed in God and the power there. Anyhow, this is what it says. You will decide on a matter, and it will be established for you. You will decide on a matter, and it will be established for you. And light will shine on your ways. If you're willing, even just a little, to listen to the voice of the Christ, the higher self, and act on it, light will shine on your ways. And so it is. Amen.
Hello? Good. I'm Gisela, and I'm doing the announcements today. Our Monday morning meditation sessions are taking a summer break for the next few weeks and until after Labor Day. We start again after Labor Day. And our prayer team individually continues to pray and uplift the people on our prayer list. And we do that anyways, as much as we can. So to add a person to the prayer list, please fill in the prayer request slip found in your welcome packet, the blue packet, with the person's first name and the first initial of their last name, and place it in the offering basket. You can also send us an email or submit a prayer request on our website or app. Next week is the last Sunday of the month, Potluck Day, yay. It's the day that we celebrate the birthdays of the month. Please plan to stay after service next week, and if you're able, bring some good food. After next week's potluck, plan to stay for Cindy's Creative Cafe, oh, she's not here today, and karaoke. This event happens on the last Sunday of each month. It is a chance for you to paint, to draw, sing, tell a story, or work on your own craft project. And you are so good at painting. I've seen it. Can you hear me? Yeah? Oh, good. This event, of course, is by donation. And if you want to paint, the cost is $10 to pay for the material. Here's your chance to connect with your friends, share your talents, and learn something new. Join us after the service and every last Sunday of each month from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. All are welcome. Thank you, Cindy, for your inspiration. Our book club has been on a break for the summer and will relaunch on the first Sunday of September. Our format is to pick a book, read a book, and share your thoughts with a group. That's so much fun. So break out the great book you read this summer, or settle in with that book you're still hoping to read. Then gather on Sunday, September the 7th during coffee hour and share. The discussion will be led by Lindsay Munson. Lindsay not here today? It'll be so much fun. I'm looking forward to that one. Unity Canada is hosting an information session today, Sunday, August the 24th at 4:30 our time via Zoom. In this free call, you'll learn about Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute's education redesign and what it means for Canadians. Also, if you're curious about becoming a minister or a licensed Unity teacher, you will hear updates about the pathways for those programs. And finally, you'll learn about 7 courses that will be held on Zoom this fall. I'd love to know the headings of these courses. Okay. Don't miss these important updates before fall registrations. Opens the day after the call on Monday, August the 25th. You may have noticed that our ministic, Lyle, for those of you you're not familiar with the name yet, has done an amazing job, and our gardens are beautiful. We are looking for some new members now to join the gardening club, to do some weeding and pruning and watering. Our goal is to have at least 2 people, preferably more, make it a group, and to step up to spread the workload. Many hands make light work. We are planning a garden work party on September 14th, so that's great. I hope you're all coming. Immediately after the Sunday program, but dress in work clothes, bring gloves and tools if you have them, and stay to help out on September 14th. It'll be so much fun. I'm planning to be there. Unity of New Westminster is fully self-supported, and we are grateful for your gifts which support our community's message. Many of us contribute with pre-authorized payments, which are especially helpful for our budgeting. If you are not placing anything into the contribution basket today, just bless it silently when it comes to you. For our online viewers, you'll find a donation link in the description of the recording. And please like and subscribe to our channel so we can reach more people. Please give freely from a place of abundance and gratitude. Thank you.
And our blessings come in many forms. It's wonderful to receive the love offerings. However, it's the people showing up to be part of this community that really is deserving of gratitude. And so we've got a lot of people that help out. I'm going to give a special shout out to Chris. Yeah, you. Chris, when we got in today, the tables weren't set up for hospitality, and that's what Chris did. She was willing. She said, I gotta put the table. Yes, she just went to it, and who helped you? Richard. Yeah. Richard, wherever Richard is. Yes, yay, Richard. And we have Stuart on sound. I'm not sure who figured out how to turn up the volume. Thank you. At least we got part of it, yay. And Valerie, now Valerie, you gotta stand up and show everybody. Valerie, her gratitude for Valerie and her presence. Sparkles, it sparkles. And so we have the people that, work in the kitchen. We have the people that do the setup in the morning, the take down when things are wrapping up here. We have gardening, we've had mentioned. People in the office, I think, Glenn, you're a big part of that now. All these things that are behind the scenes. Maxine stepped in today to do the daily word. She was willing, yay! And if there's anybody else, the greeters, anyone else that has not been mentioned, and I think what I'll do another time, just know that there have been people here literally for decades serving. And it's hard to get around to everybody. And when you look around this, just know that the reason we have the community we do is because of those people, the foundation, who have carried it through literally for decades. So gratitude to all of those whose presence has made a difference. And now, yay. Yeah. Jerry and Sharon, I'm looking at you, yeah. And Gladys and Catherine. I mean, Sharon, the people that have been coming longer than I've been around, and I've been around for a while. Okay, so thank you all for being here today, for anyone joining online. And we're going to be able to stay for coffee and snacks. I'm scooting out. I have another engagement. I'm doing double unity duty today because I'm going to be at a picnic with Unity. Oh, thank you. Unity of Vancouver. And just so you know, if you know anybody that's interested in learning more about Unity, I'm going to be offering a class at Unity of Vancouver starting September. Wednesdays, 4 Wednesdays, the first Wednesday after Labor Day, going from the history of Unity, its principles, and then an update on lots that's happening in the greater Unity movement. So if you feel like taking a trip into the big city, please know you're welcome. It'll be on Unity of Vancouver's website. So let's take a moment and try and make a circle. Let's see if we can gather. And then we can sing our peace song and bring our time to a close, knowing that we are all one and we're always connected.